Bwana. Na bwana mwokozi kwa yale. Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Let's pray. Almighty God, in your wisdom and goodness, appoint the officers of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings send upon us assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you've committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, kindly refer to your standing order number 32. I've been advised accordingly that there is no quorum, and I want to refer to that standing order and direct that the sergeant at arms rings the quorum bell for the first 5 minutes. When the bell is being rung, no member will leave the house, apart from the whip, who may leave to whip the members so that we have quorum. I am not able to see the whip. I'm not able to see the deputy whip. But somebody, Honorable Narea is there as the deputy speaker. I'm also seeing Honorable Emily, speaker's panelist, and sitting on the seat of majority leader. So one of you can confirm to me if you have quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have the honor of being the majority leader today. And I'd like to confirm that we have quorum in the House.
Clerk.
Order paper number 180 of today, Wednesday, 15th May 2024 at 9 a.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Ratib Boitor. Honorable Ratib, looks like you're not ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of orders number 182(6) of the standing orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 15th May 2024, a report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development Committee on the encroachment of the riparian areas along Haga Beach in southwest Kisumu ward. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Statement time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of a report of PICPAC Committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022.
Honorable Kennedy huko.
Speaker. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report of the committee on the audited financial statement of Ahero County Level 5 Hospital Financial Year 2021-2022. The County Assembly exercises oversight over county government entities, investments, and their expenditure pursuant to Article 185(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 through the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, which in turn derives its mandate from the County Assembly Standing Orders. It is instructive that Article 229(8) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the County Assembly within 3 months after receiving an audit report to debate, consider the report, and take appropriate action. The committee held 2 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officer on audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statement of Ahero County Level 5 Hospital, Level 4 Hospital, financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to the following honorable members of the committee to fellow honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Committee Secretariat, and the Office of the Auditor General for the facilitation and technical support that made the production of this report possible. I also thank the management of Ahero County Level 4 Hospital for honoring committee invitations and timely submissions of responses. Special appreciation goes to Hansard Department for ensuring that all our meetings with accounting officers are broadcast live. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to table the report on the consideration of the Auditor General's report on financial statement of the Ahero County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 and urge this Honorable House to adopt it. 3.0, report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Ahero County Level 5 or Level 4 Hospitals for the year ended 30th June 2022. Honorable Speaker, Dr. Lilian Onwanga, the medical superintendent and the accounting officer, appeared before the committee on 5th April 2024 at 14:00 hours to adduce evidence on the audited financial statement of the Ahero County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022. The following officers represented the Office of the Auditor General in the meeting on 5th April 2024 at 14:00 hours. Mr. Kennedy Ongoi, Office of the Auditor General, Mrs. Margaret Moage, Office of the Auditor General. Opinion of the Auditor General, its disclaimer opinion. Honorable Speaker, the opinion of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Ahero County Hospital financial year 2021-2022 was a disclaimer of opinion. This is the worst opinion that an auditor can give. A disclaimer of opinion is an opinion issued by an auditor indicating that the auditor was unable to obtain sufficient evidence to form an opinion on the financial statement being audited. This occurs when the auditor believes that the information available to them is insufficient, unclear, or lack credibility, making it impossible to provide a clear opinion on the accuracy of the financial statement. Honorable Speaker, the purpose of the audit is to provide assurance to the stakeholders that the financial statements are presented fairly and accurately. When auditor is unable to provide this assurance, they issue a disclaimer of opinion. This type of opinion is seen as a significant red flag, as it indicates that the financial statements are unreliable and potentially misleading. Basis for the disclaimer opinion. Honorable Speaker, the following issue formed the basis of disclaimer of opinion. 1. Non-compliance with the prescribed financial reporting requirement. 2. Lack of trial balance. 3. Inaccuracy in revenue. 4. Income received in enterprise resource planning system, ERP. 5. Variance between financial statement amount and larger amount. 6. Inaccuracies in cash and cash equivalents. 7. Inaccuracies in statement of cash flow. 8. Anomalies in statement of comparison of budget and actual amount. 9. Unsupported balance in the financial statement. 10. Undisclosed balances. 11. Non-retention of own generated revenue. 12. Irregularities in procurement of goods and services. 13. Weaknesses in procurement. 14. Unlawful direct procurement of medical clinical goods and services. 15. Long outstanding trade and other payables. 16. Storage of expired pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical. 17. Storage of essential pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical. Shortage of essential pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical. 18. Irregularities in the constitution of the Board of Management. Honorable Speaker, having considered written responses from the management and having held a meeting with the management and the Office of the Auditor General, the committee makes the following findings. 4.0, summary of the observations. That the hospital management failed to adhere to the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 164(1), which states that At the end of each financial year, the accounting officer for a county government entity shall prepare financial statement in respect of the entity in format to be prescribed by the Accounting Standard Board. 2, that there was a lack of qualified accountant in the management of Hero Sub-County Hospital to assist in the proper preparation of the financial statement. 3, that there was no indication for the medical superintendent, induction for medical superintendent, and the management in regard to their roles in the management of public fund. 4, that the hospital management did not comply with the section 164(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which states that the reporting standard, which requires the accounting officer of the county government entity to prepare financial statement of the entity in a form that complies with the relevant accounting standard prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. 5, the Ahero Sub-County Hospital received an amount of Kenya shillings 11,948,180.95 as transferred from the county executive, and not 9,568,181 as reported in the book of the county executive. That by failure to disclose Kenya shillings 1,620,000 received as claim from Mom Care Foundation, the management failed to adhere to section 138(8) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which stipulates that the recipient of a grant or a donation from a development partner shall record the amount or value of the grant or donation in a book of accounts. 7, the management, as at the time of committee deliberations, had reconciled the variance of Kenya shillings 5,688,700 relating to rendering of services and medical income. 8, that there was frequent revenue collection system failure during the financial year under review. 9, that the management failed to explain the strategy used to collect money in the event of the system failure. 10, that the management failed to support expenses amounting to Kenya shillings 183,922 Kenya shillings, another 48,000, another 309,000, another one is 885,016 relating to employees' cost, board of management expenses, motor vehicle, and general expenses respectively, totaling to Kenya shillings 1,425,938 during the time of audit and during the time of committee deliberations. That at the time of committee deliberations, the management was unable to demonstrate that their actual cash balance was 12, that the management failed to support the following item during the time of audit and during the time of committee deliberations: medical clinical costs of 9,861,546, repair of medical equipment at Kenya shillings 186,920, repair of plants and machinery at 21,112, grants and subsidies Kenya shillings 1,143,668 receivable from exchange transactions. Receivable from exchange transactions of Kenya shillings 5,688,700. 13, the management during the time of committee deliberations presented a supporting schedule that could not be verified by the committee and had not been verified by the auditors. 14, that the management failed to disclose the value of property, plant and equipment inventory, plants and equipment inventory balances in the financial statement. 15, that the management did not carry out stock takes of inventories, contrary to section 162I of the Public Finance Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2012, which states that an accounting officer of the procurement entity shall ensure that all inventory, store, and asset purchased are received, but shall not be used until taken on charge, and as a basis for ensuring that all procured items are properly accounted for and put in proper use as intended by the procuring entity. 16, that the management did not have an inventory management system during the financial year under review. 17, that the management failed to adhere to Section 3F of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Fund Act 2021, which provides that the object and purpose of the Act is to facilitate retention of money collected by public health facilities to support the facilities to deliver relevant services. 18, that the letter of reference GN 133 volume X1/174 by the Chief Officer of Health instructed the hospital to act in contravention of Section 3F of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Act 2021. 19, that the management did not have a procurement plan during the year under review, despite having procured several items, services, including printing and stationery, fuel and lubricants, among other items. This was contrary to Regulation 114(2) of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government, Regulation 2015, which states that every year procurement plan shall be prepared by accounting officer to form the basis of procurement activities undertaken by the government entity in the financial year. 20, that the management did not appoint an inspection and acceptance committee to inspect goods procured before being received at the store, and pre-inspection and post-inspection report were not provided for audit. This was contrary to Section 48(3) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 21, that the management procure goods without requisitions from the user department. This was contrary to Regulation 71 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020, which provides that, 1, pursuant to Section 73 of the Act, the head of the user department shall initiate the procurement process through a requisition as per the approved procurement plan. 2, the user department shall submit the requisition under paragraph 1 to the head of the procurement function for processing. 22. The management spent an amount of Kenya shillings 1,906,095 using the direct procurement method, contrary to provision of Section 106 of the Public Procurement Asset Disposal Act 2015, which requires the invitations of pre-qualified suppliers to quote for the required goods or services. 23. In so doing, the management did not provide justification that the conditions set out in Section 103 of the Act had been satisfied. 24. Further, there was no evidence that the management had reported to the authority the direct procurement within 14 days after the notification of the award of the contract, since the value exceeded 500,000 shillings, contrary to provisions of Regulation 91 and B of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020. 25. That 2 suppliers that had not been pre-qualified were paid an amount of Kenya shillings 489,875 and Kenya shillings 394,250 for the supply of medical records and patient food, respectively. 26. That the management accrued debt amounting to Kenya shillings 2,257,467 that had been outstanding for more than 60 days. 27. That the management failed to repay the above debts on first charge basis, contrary to Regulation 41(2) of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations 2015, which states that debt service payment shall be first charged on the county revenue fund, and the accounting officer shall ensure that this is done to the extent possible, so that the county government does not default on debt obligations. 28, that the management failed to adhere to guideline 5.5 of the Pharmacy and Poison Board guidelines for good distribution practice for pharmaceutical, which states that there shall be a system to ensure stock rotations with frequent regular checks that the system is operating correctly. Products beyond their expiry date or shelf life shall be removed from the usable stock, and it must be ensured that they are neither sold nor supplied. 29, that during the financial year, there were shortages of essential pharmaceutical drugs that are frequently prescribed to patients. Some drugs were out of stock, while others were insufficient and below the designated facility level. 30, that the Board of Management failed to adhere to guideline 1.8, bracket 1B, 1 and bracket B of the Mwongozo Code of Government, which stipulates that board members should meet regularly as required and at least quarterly. Summary of recommendations. 5.0. 1, that going forward, the management must adhere to the section 164, 1 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which requires the accounting officer of a county government entity to prepare financial statement of the entity in a form that complies with the relevant accounting standards prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. 2, that the county executive committee member, medical services, public health, and sanitation immediately deployed a qualified accountant to the hospital to support in the financial management. A report on the deployment be submitted to this assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. 3, that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health, and Sanitation carry out capacity building for all the medical superintendents in their roles as the accounting officers within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report, and ensure that any newly recruited medical superintendent are properly induced with respect to the same. A report on the induction be forwarded to the Assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. 4, that going forward, the accounting officer, Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation must ensure accuracy in the recording of transfer of level 4 health facilities. 5, that going forward, the management must adhere to section 138(8) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which stipulates that the recipient of a grant or a donation from a development partner shall record the amount or value of a grant or donation in its books of account. 6, that going forward, the management must put up proper verification mechanism to ensure that revenue are collected efficiently in cases of system failure. 7, that going forward, the accounting officer of the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation should ensure that the system is agile enough to minimize system downtime. 8, that the pursuant to Article 226(5) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which states that if the whole of the public office or a political office directs or approves the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the office holder or not. The accounting officer for Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation immediately initiated recovery of Kenya shillings 1,425,938 from Dr. Rael Achapa, who was the accounting officer of the facility during the year under review. A report of the initiation of the recovery be submitted to the Assembly within a period of 60 days upon adoption of this report. 9, that in future, the management must adhere to the Public Finance Regulation, County Government, paragraph 91 of the, on ensuring that bank account reconciliations are completed and submitted to the Office of the Auditor General. 10, that going forward, the management must adhere to section 3(5) of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Act 2021, which provides that the object and the purpose of the act is to facilitate retention of money collected by the public health facilities to support the facility to deliver relevant services. 11, that going forward, the accounting officer, medical services, public health, and sanitation must not give instructions that contravenes the law. 12. That going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 114.2 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015. 13. That going forward, the management must adhere to Section 48.3 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 14. That going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 71 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020. 15. That going forward, the management must adhere to the provision of Section 106 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. 16. That going forward, where direct procurement has been used, the management must ensure that the provisions of Section 103 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 is adhered to. 17. That going forward, the management must procure goods and services only from duly qualified suppliers. 18. That the management settle the debt amounting to Kenya shillings 2,257,467 within a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report, and report on the same be submitted to this assembly. 19. That going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 141. 19. That going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 41.2 of the Public Finance Management Act, County Government Regulations 2015. 20. That going forward, the management must adhere to Guideline 5.5 of the Pharmacy and Poison Board Guideline for Goods Distribution Practices for Pharmaceutical and Poison Board Guideline. I repeat, pardon. 20. That going forward, the management must adhere to Guideline 5.5 of the Pharmacy and Poison Board Guidelines for good distribution practices for pharmaceuticals. 21. That going forward, the management must ensure that essential pharmaceutical and drugs that are frequently prescribed to patients are well stocked. 22. That going forward, the Board of Management must adhere to Guideline 1.8, bracket 1, bracket B of the Mwongozo Code of Governance. Honorable Speaker, I hereby request that this House adopt this report on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statement of Ahero Level 4 Hospital for the financial year 2021-2022. May I call upon Honorable Geoffrey Warindu to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me take the opportunity to appreciate the committee and the Secretariat for the detailed report that they have given us. Indeed, if you look at the reports from the sub-counties hospital, this is the first time that their accounts and their financial statements are being audited. And the issues that have been flagged off cuts across all the sub-counties hospitals. And health being one of the pillar departments in the county government of Kisumu, we regret to observe and see how our sub-counties hospitals are being run like private enterprises. All the issues that have been flagged off in this report, there are almost 18. They are in contravention of the rules and the regulations that have been put in place. And when we raised that during our committee deliberations, we realized that there is only one accountant who had been secretary to all these facilities. And this being an eye-opener, since we've seen how the public resources are being mismanaged, we were given a commitment that the county government has seen that, and they have decided to give each and every sub-county a registered accountant so that this message cannot be seen in our sub-county hospitals. Another recommendation that we are putting, that wherever the county government is giving out the funds, be it the trade fund, be it education fund, be it funds to the hospitals, we need to have an internal audit committee so that some of these messes can be controlled rather than acting on them after they have been, after the messes have been done. And I believe that if we proactively do our part, if those who are in these offices take their works seriously, then we will make a great change in Kisumu County. And with that, I also want to urge the Assembly to adopt this report and let the recommendations be implemented as advised by the committee. I second and support the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that a motion, that is adoption of a report of the PICPAC committee on examination of the Auditor General's report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022 have been moved and seconded. I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion is open for debate. Honorable Ratib Boyton.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a report that needs to be taken with a lot of interest, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they have given us a number of observations, in fact, totaling to 23. And at the same time, they have given us recommendations, which are amounting to 25 substantive recommendations. This committee has done a good job, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one or two of these recommendations that I hereby stand to echo, they are of very great interest. One, that there should be capacity building in this county level 4 hospital. This also brings a very funny question. The question is, do we have staff in this sub-county hospital who are incompetent? This needs to be taken with a lot of seriousness, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another recommendation that also raises eyebrows is the accounting officer. The committee has recommended that the accounting officer should be held responsible and amount of 1.42 million shillings be recovered. If the county lost this amount of money, then, Mr. Speaker, I support this report as yesterday, so that the county can recover this amount. Mr. Speaker, the accounting officer is adversely mentioned here. It looks like this accounting officer is not even qualified, and that is why the committee is recommending that the hospital, through the Public Service Board, hire or recruit a qualified accounting officer. Now, as an oversight authority, what is our question? How did an incompetent accounting officer get his way to this facility? This needs to be taken into consideration, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a report that I support, and I also implore on our members to support so that the implementation committee takes charge and recommendations are followed to the letter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Benny Peter.
Mr. Speaker, the report we are handling today is rather similar to the one we handled yesterday. Mr. Speaker, our health facilities had problem previously in the management of their finances, and it was felt that they should be given the authority to collect and spend. That is why Facility Improvement Fund Act was enacted some years back to help our health facilities. The picture we are getting overhead of Sub-County Hospital today is alarming because their finance department, their procurement department are not well established. And that is why the Office of the Auditor General has given a disclaimer opinion on the report. As was echoed yesterday, that we need to take the executive to task so that the relevant personnel are taken to these health facilities so that we don't just take things for granted. Because where public money has been taken to, we need value for that money. We should not just assume. Mr. Speaker, despite all the recommendations made on this report, one key matter that we need to address is that in this health facility, an accountant was posted. Assuming that this is a qualified accountant who was posted to a health sub-county hospital, one wonders why financial records are now in a mess. Where an accountant is and a trial balance cannot be prepared, you ask, what is the accountant doing? Because the trial balance is a financial record prepared on monthly basis to show the expenditure and the income of the institution. And it becomes a accumulated record over the months. And if the accountant cannot prepare that kind of record, Mr. Speaker, it's a letdown to the government of Kisumu County. Another matter, the trial balance has failed to be prepared, proper records cannot be analyzed. Also, the total revenue, that is 3.3. Money transferred from the treasury to the health facility, there is no proper record. It is 11 million, the record is reflecting 9 million. You wonder, what exactly happened? Is there a ping-pong game between the treasury and the health facility? That is what we must ask ourselves before the records are reconciled. Because this is money which was transferred at a particular time and a specific amount. With the record stock of 11 million, the record stock of 9 million, then reconciliation is needed, then someone is playing his game, Mr. Speaker. And these are the matters that we must take the executive to task so that on matters of finance, we don't be seen to be playing about. our people must get value for their hard-earned money. Mr. Speaker, there is also the matter of pending bill of about 2 million in this record. We now need also to know, when we are handling the CPROP record in this assembly, we were told the Kisumu County pending bill is about 5 billion. The Committee of Budget and Appropriation must now come out clearly and tell us that the pending bill that they brought to this house, do they include the ones of other institutions like these health facilities? Because if it happens that the 5 billion is just for the departments here and the other facilities that have become independent on the management of their finances did not include that, then the pending bill for Kisumu County is still going up. And Mr. Speaker, if I digress a little, if we remember what was appearing in the Nation newspaper yesterday, where the Senate wants the county governments to clear all the pending bills. And if the position of the pending bills is not clear, then what record are we presenting? And what record are we oversighting? Mr. Speaker, if there is problem of cash flow problem in an institution, the institution does not know the money they are receiving from other bodies, what they are collecting, and they cannot figure out the total revenue they have, then one may comment that there may be a lot of window dressing in the financial records of this institution. We need to take this matter seriously so that we help the executive in its work. It is this assembly that should pinpoint where the mistakes are. And when we pinpoint where the mistakes are and that need to be corrected, we are not fighting anyone. Because we only want our finances to be managed well. We want our people to get value for their money. We want our financial records to be appraised positively. And then we shall have done a good work. Mr. Speaker, this record, financial record, and the red flags raised by the Office of the Auditor General, we should not take lying low. We need to expose this so that the other departments should follow suit. And by that, I ask the committee, we have only two ways once such a kind of report has come before us. A lot of sweeping recommendations are being made. And these sweeping recommendations, where do we want to reach with them? Because if the Office of the Auditor General has raised this kind of report, we have only two options. To forward it to the Office of Ethics and Anti-Corruption for financial messes that have been flagged off. And to forward it to the Office of Director of Criminal Investigation if there are managerial problems. Those are the two aspects we should look into. Not giving a lot of sweeping recommendations, which, even after passing this report, we shall end with it nowhere. So let us be specific. Let us go to the audit, matters of audit, the Audit Act of 2015. What does it guide us on? The Audit Act of 2015, what does it guide us on? Let us not give a lot of our own recommendations. Let us go by what is recommended by the Constitution of Kenya. And we forward this report to those two offices. Then we shall be helping this county. And we shall be helping our people. And we shall be relevant in our work. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Benny, make it a practice. You either support motion or reject.
I oblige, Mr. Speaker. I support that action be taken.
Honorable Seth Okumu.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the adoption of the report by the member from the Committee of Public Accounts and Investment. Honorable Speaker, I want to start with where my brother, the Honorable Benny Pete, just finished on the recommendation. And I want to challenge my brother that what does DCI and EACC go to do with the lack of an accounting officer in a facility? What does DCI or EACC go to do with the lack of a procurement officer in the facility? What does DCI and EACC go to do with lack of staff in that facility? So we cannot limit our recommendations to DCI and EACC because this facility has a lot of stakeholders, from the community to the county government to the assembly to everyone that is involved. And like I said yesterday when we were discussing Kumbewa, that an audit report tells you what has gone wrong, and then you can find out how to get it right. And on that note, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the recommendation that the committee made with regards to Ahero Sub-County Hospital. Mr. Speaker, we cannot make our hospitals a procuring entity without having for them accounting officers and procurement officers. A medical superintendent is not trained, especially when they are doctors, dentists, or pharmacists. They are not trained to be procurement officers, but they are given the responsibility of becoming accounting officers. For them to do their role as accounting officers, the county government must facilitate them so that we get the best services out of these facilities. Honorable Speaker, in our interaction with some of these facilities and out of this report, I want to guide the officers out there. There is a tendency by the department using some of these facilities because they are procuring entities to make procurement for goods and services that they don't know where they're going to be spent. And then when it comes to auditing, it's these facilities that are audited and they are put to answer questions on procurements that were done for goods that they did not see or services that were not offered in that particular facility. I want to advise out of this report, especially for Ahero and any other sub-county hospital and any other procuring entity within our county government, that any procurement done should be for services or goods that are seen and you have utilized them. Honorable Speaker, this report and my interaction with the officers of this department has a tendency, when the Auditor General has done their audit, I don't know whether it's deliberate or it's just by chance, that there's usually change of staff. You find that the medical officer who was there has been moved, the administrator has been moved, and now the people that are being held or are invited for these meetings are either 3 months or 2 months old in a particular facility. But because the office operates in perpetuity, they are made to answer questions that happened when they were not there. Honorable Speaker, I also want to plead with the department that let the officers who are responsible for some of these expenses be the ones who are invited here. And I think this should be a practice by the committee. through the chair. Even though the office operates in perpetuity, but audit reports have management and management committees that were present when the audit was being done. Let it be a practice that these are the people that we invite, and we don't invite the officers, because they are individuals with names.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What is the point of order, Honorable Benny Pete?
Mr. Speaker, sir, statement of facts. Honorable Seto Kumas has come up to challenge my contribution, and I want to refer him to Article 226, Section 5. Article 226, Section 5 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that if the holder of a public office, including a political office, directs or approves the use of public funds contrary to law or instruction, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the holder of the office or not. It is the onus is with the committee to order the officers who are in the office to appear before them as per that article.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I think the Honorable Member is still confused. The audit report does not limit itself to use of public resources. If you look at that audit report, it even mentions the number of staff vis-a-vis the required staff in each and every facility. And if a facility is supposed to have, let's say, 3 medical officers, and it's only having 1, and that's the challenge I was giving you, what does that go to do with ESCC and DCI? And what does that go to do with the medical superintendent? I'm challenging you, Honorable Member, so that you understand. So the recommendations that the committee has made has covered everything, including loss of public resources. Honorable Members, I will continue and explain further that on the change of staff, and I was saying that after audit, there's a practice or a tendency of change of staff in most of these facilities. And this makes the people who are, in the words of Oiko, make not good use of public resources, not solely responsible, but they have been moved to, let's say, Kombewa, and then you are asking questions about Ahero. Or they've been moved to Prosperity and they're just somewhere there hanging around, and then you are told to invite this person who is only 3 months old because the office is working in perpetuity. Honorable Speaker, I want to request that moving forward, the committee should work on inviting the management who are present when the audit report was being done. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the adoption of this report so that we can make good use of all public resources in our sub-county hospital. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Alice Wajao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the adoption of the report by PICPAC. First of all, I want to applaud the committee and the secretariat for the work well done. It is so unfortunate that this kind of issues are happening in our health facilities. It is really sad. And it is an eye-opener. The report is an eye-opener to the county government and to the County Assembly of Kisumu. I really want to support all the recommendations, and it is my prayer that implementation, we should really follow up and see that all the recommendations are implemented. And all the management which have been mentioned in the report, they should be held responsible for the misappropriation of funds. It's sad, Mr. Speaker, when it is mentioned that pharmaceutical and non-farms in the health facilities, the ones which has expired, are still stored, and I'm very sure that they are used. As you are aware that medicine, if they are not used well, they are poison to our people. So I would really recommend that this kind of issues.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
What is the point of order, Honorable Sir?
Honorable Speaker, under statement of facts.
Switch off your microphone.
Honorable Speaker, under statement of facts, the Honorable Member Alice Wajewa has just mentioned that she is sure that the expired drugs are being used. Honorable Speaker, if she is very sure, then she provide facts to that statement so that action can be taken. But if she is not, then she withdraws and apologizes, because that sends wrong signals to the people that we are treating them with expired drugs. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Alice.
Speaker, it is mentioned in the report that expired drugs are stored together with the drugs which are being used. If they are expired and they are stored together, what is it? Because if the drugs are expired, they are supposed to be put aside and destroyed. But if they are stored together with the ones which are still in use, and with all this confusion in these health facilities, we are sure that they are used. Why didn't they get rid of them and destroy them? Why store them together with the ones which are still in good condition? That's why, to me, I cannot withdraw, because I'm sure that their intention of storing their expired drugs or non-farms, they are a bad intention. So it is, I really want to support the recommendation that all the management, they should do their work, because for sure they are not doing their work properly. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order, Honorable Sir?
Honorable Speaker, I still standing order on statement of facts. And storage and use are two different things. I mean, there's a process of destroying drugs. And I don't think that by having them in one store means they are going to be used. And if you are sending signals that by storing drugs that are expired in the same store with the ones that are being used, then you are sure that they are being used on people. Honorable Speaker, that statement is very, 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 very dangerous. And if she doesn't have proof, then I think it's just right that she withdraws.
Honorable Alice.
Honorable Speaker, I think the honorable member should answer one question before asking me to withdraw. Why are they storing expired drugs together with the drugs which are supposed to be used? What is their intention? Because the drugs which are expired are supposed to be put aside, awaiting disposal. Why are they mixed with the ones which are? It is really an offense, Mr. Speaker, to mix expired and the right drugs. It is an offense, and in fact, this thing should go to the anti-corruption to investigate further. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Alice, I think the concern by Honorable Seth is the surety on usage of the expired drug, not the storage. You mentioned that you are sure that the drugs, or the fact that they are stored together with the good ones, you are sure that they are used. So the question is on the surety of usage, not the storage.
To speak, I would ask the honorable member to answer my question. why is the facility storing expired drugs and non-farms together with the ones which are supposed to be used?
Honorable Alice, the member stood on a point of order, and the point of order was very clear that a statement of fact on the surety of usage of expired drugs, not on storage. I believe he never stood on a point of order questioning the report on the storage of the two. I mean, the move of the motion there, maybe it could be lack of storage for different drugs, which now comes to the question of, is there enough facility for us to store different items? But the point of order is, you said you are sure, and it's sending a wrong signal to the public. Honorable Alice.
Mr. Speaker, I cannot withdraw because even if you go to the pharmacy now and you get expired drugs stored there, it is an offense.
Honorable Alice, then I will help you.
Yes.
If you are not able to withdraw, then I think we can give you even up to the next sitting to provide evidence. I'm saying that you have indicated that you are not able to withdraw. So as power standing order, I think it's just fair that we give you up to probably the next sitting to provide evidence to substantiate that fact that expired drugs are being used in the hospitals. Honorable Emily.
Thank you so much. Right obliged.
Honorable Emily.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to stand on a point of information to my sister, Honorable Alice. But since you've, I don't know whether I should go ahead. Do you want to be informed?
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to be informed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'd like to inform the House, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to inform the House on clarity on the stored expired drugs. Mr. Speaker, being the Vice Chair of the Committee on Health, we've done several site visits to these facilities. And whenever we go to these facilities, we visit the pharmacies. And you find that at times, they could be storing expired drugs because for accountability reasons. Those expired drugs have to be kept aside until the auditors come, and then they can be disposed. So I think maybe that is why Honorable Ali was actually mentioning that they store expired drugs, but on usage, then she needs to clarify. Thank you.
I think I've already made a direction that Honorable Alice, there is no question of storage, but we have agreed that in the next sitting, you provide evidence or you substantiate your stand that those drugs are being used. Honorable Henrietta Bodo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Have you made a ruling so that we don't continue debating about this? You haven't. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say a word or two about what my colleague here has just said. I think what it
are you standing on a point of order, or you want to debate? I have already made a determination on that point of order. So if you want to debate, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I don't understand you clearly. Whether I want to debate, but I want to say a word or two. I don't know whether that is a debate or...
On a point of order.
Yes, sir.
Don't want people.
Honorable Henrietta, I think we know that when a motion is moved, seconded, and a question is proposed, the next thing is to debate. So we are still debating until we exhaust our time. In the order paper, there is an attachment of limitation of debate. So I would only stop the members if we go beyond the provided time, but we are still within the provided time. So any member can debate so long as you are not debating for the second time. But you are also allowed to stand on a point of order and even to create amendments to the motion at hand. You can rely on the standing order and do anything that you want, provided it is as per the standing order, as per the Constitution of Kenya and any other statutes that guides our debate in the House. So if you want to touch on what Honorable Alice said, I think I've already given direction. On the way forward. But if you want to debate, you can proceed, Honorable Henrietta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think taking what Honorable Alice Wajewa here has just said to next week, I think that is too long. Whatever is there, I think, is just the wording. She used the word she's sure that the drugs are being used. I think we can just say that too. Maybe she thinks.
On a point of order.
Honorable Henrietta, I want to rule you out of order. Once the Speaker has made a determination on a point, you don't come back with a debate on it, unless you bring it officially. If the standing order provides on how you can challenge such rulings or determinations. So please don't go back to that matter. But you can debate on the motion of the Pick-Pack Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to debate on this matter. I just wanted to do a correction. But now that you have made a determination, I have something else to add on to what you have said. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Honorable Rita wanted to be hard on the answered. You are hard. Honorable Dede.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also according me the opportunity to hear my sentiments concerning the motion. First of all, I applaud the committee for having brought good observations and the recommendations concerning our facilities. To begin with, under the observations, it's clearly stipulated that there is an amount of 1.96, which was paid for direct procurement, which should not be the case with our facilities. It's now contrary to the regulations that before the procurement is done, there should be a procedure to be followed, whereby goods before supply, we follow the correct procedure so that we do the procurement. So it means the 1.96 which there was not correctly used. And as the mover was moving it, there was a debt to be settled of 2,257,467 to be settled. That was a recommendation made by the committee. But the 2 point something million should be at least shown the breakdown should be shown of the 2.2 million, so that while they is being settled, we know that the 2.25 mil, it caters what department. And being that the recommendation they brought that the facilities are being audited for the first time, that is give a mandate that we get the wrong information from our facilities. Being that they are being audited for the first time, shows that the procurement procedure, those who are employed in the facility, they know whatever they should be done, even being that they're audited for the first time, creates a discrepancy. And to our facilities, there has been problems with the facilities that were at the auditing time. We find that those who are being audited are the ones at the moment in the facilities. And at that time, we find that most of them are being transferred. You find that a medsup has been transferred, and at the same time, the admins are also transferred. So we don't have the proper information for the facility, and that should be considered that at that particular time of the auditing, let those who are at the moment be charged for the information found at our facilities. And finally, concern the drugs. We find that even though the expired drugs are being found in the facilities, they be at a particular time, they can't be disposed at that particular moment, being that before audited, being you dispose them at that particular time, you can't audit, at the auditing time, perhaps they may be sold that they were used in the facility, yet they are expired. So the expired drugs should be kept for the auditing and the accountability of the drug. And with the few observations and the recommendations, I support the motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Billy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to air my views on the report. First, I want to thank the committee for a good report done, good report that gives us a clear picture of what happened in that facility, Ahero. Madam Speaker, looking at the report, you realize that what is ailing Ahero is a management issue, because it is written in the report that even when Ahero was being made an entity, even the management are saying that they didn't know they were made an entity, and that's why they were not ready to do the report. It is in the report. Madam Speaker, whenever public funds are involved, be it in the county government, be it in any organization, and even in the national government, at least we need to have a proper system, because these are monies that come from our Kenyan citizens, and they should be getting value from their money. So before any institution is made an entity, we should have had a qualified accounting officer. And I think that is something that we should question the county government on, because we can't have our funds managed by people who really don't understand what is happening. Because for one, a serious financial statement or any financial document, we need to have that matching principle. Those are now that is from the finance principles. at least the expenses and the revenues, there should be some match. And looking at what we are having from the report, that is not there. Any report that we are given, there should be objectivity. At least the report should be very accurate and also should have been supported by evidence, which clearly is not shown. Because if you look at the report, it is written that the financial statements were given without notes. So having a financial statement and no notes to support, it means there's something that is going on that we may not understand because the report is not given fully. Another thing, Madam Speaker, full disclosure, that is a principle of accounting, is not given. And the committee should have in their recommendation that in the coming reports, they should be giving us full disclosure so that in our oversight role, we can know and we can give good recommendations because we have the full copy of what really happened. So it is truly a management issue because for one, we don't have a qualified accounting officer in that institution, in that entity. And secondly, we don't have a good procurement team so that everything is done there with openness, integrity, transparency, and accountability. On drugs that are expired, it is unfortunate that we can still have drugs that are expired. It is my belief, Madam Speaker, in our county government, if we have a system whereby drugs come from one central point whenever they are needed, so that the drugs that were manufactured early enough should go fast, so that we don't have wastage, because now this is public fund that is going to waste. After the drugs have expired, they are not going to be used. So if you have a good system, a central point where drugs come out maybe weekly or even after some period, we will do away with the drugs that were manufactured earlier than others, and we will not have wastage, because our main role as members is to see how we can minimize wastage of public funds. So I believe if we have that system, it will really help us greatly. With that, Madam Speaker, I support.
Honorable members, if we don't have any other member making their submissions, then can we have someone call the mover to reply?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Going by the rule of this House, Madam Speaker, I call upon the mover to reply.
Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much. I would like to commend our members of the County Assembly for responding positively to issues of the audited statement of Ahero Level 4 Hospital. I may bring attention on some issues which are raised on the floor. Within our report, we have observations, independent observations made by members of the PICPAC committee during submissions of the accounting officer. And these are One of them is 28, that the management failed to adhere to guideline 5.5 of the Pharmacy and Poison Board guidelines for good distribution practice for pharmaceuticals, which states that there should be a system to ensure stock rotation with frequent, regular checks that the system is operating correctly. Products beyond their expiry date or shelf life should be removed from usable stock, and it must be ensured that they are neither sold nor supplied. Madam Speaker, this document is going to be legal the moment it is adopted. We did not mention that these drugs were used. We were only recommending that the pharmacy board, the practices required. Now we also have recommendations on that issue. We said that going forward, the management must adhere to guideline 5.5 of the Pharmacy and Poison Board guidelines for good distribution practices for pharmaceutical.
Honorable Louko.
Yes.
Yes, I think the Honorable Wajewa made an individual observation.
Yes.
And the Speaker had already made an observation, a determination on that. So I believe you stand guided.
Yeah, Lady Speaker, I'm guided, and you know we are live now. Yeah. And somebody might think that we were the people giving wrong information to members. Thank you for guidance. Another issue, you know, honorable members, health is a basic need. Apart from clothing, food, and some others, if we can't have a good health system, we are failing. And most of these problems we are having in our sub-county hospitals, it is only this house that can cure all this. And when you realize, when we were having a superintendent here, the accounting officers, we came to realize that they are lacking capacity to handle these facilities, especially on financial matters. And you can realize that we came up with a recommendation that every probably entity like Ahero, the accounting officers will be seconded there. It is like we were giving, it is like we are dealing with already grown-up babies who are given a complex assignment without the capacity. It is quite unfortunate. Even though the law is very clear on the accounting officers, but at times we were sympathizing with this young man heading these hospitals. But the law must be applied. We have to apply the law because the law has it is applicable to everybody. That is very clear. Remember where there are no trial balance. It is the trial balance that informs the financial statement. The moment we don't have this, and somebody is presenting a financial statement, you know that one is getting into a jail direct. This is just because of ignorance. He's not aware of what he should be doing. And it's posed by law that he should submit a financial statement. This is an issue. We can cover this. Our recommendations, all our recommendations are based on law. When you look at the way, or you heard the way you are giving our recommendations and what way forward and all those things, we were basing our recommendations on law. Constitution of Kenya first. Then we have what is called Public Finance Act 2012, Regulation 15. It is very clear on how we are dealing with this on county government issues. So members, wherever we are coming up with this, we are just opening the way out. We have a lot of departments here. We have a department of finance, which actually is picking some issues here. They can form their meeting and then now they can help on such issues. We also have the Department of Health. They also have to pick some issues from whatever we came up with so that that will form the basis of their meetings. That is very clear. We also have a very able lady who is in charge of implementation committee. Thank you very much. We recognize you. You are doing a good job. Thank you. Lastly, Lady Speaker, It is our responsibility, and it is a responsibility of the House to do the oversight on the executive. And at times we get disappointed when we see only few members contributing to these matters. And this is our responsibility. Although there is no law forcing you to talk on these issues. But remember, we are representing the interests of the people. It is not only our interest, it is the interest of the people. So kindly please, when we have this kind of reports, you don't be afraid that you will touch on somebody's or step on somebody's feet. These are all based on law. Whatever we are doing here are all based on law. You are protected by law. You don't need to be afraid of anything. Otherwise, thank you so much, Madam Speaker, who is also the chair of Liaison. We appreciate you a lot. We did all this report because of the money you appropriated to our committee. You added us some money in the supplementary. And this actually made this report possible. We have to recognize that. It is very important. And I recognize all the members. We expect your support always. Thank you very much. I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kennedy Ouko. Honorable members, a report of the financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 has been appropriately moved, seconded, debated upon, and a reply given. It is therefore my obligation to put a question of adoption. And I want to say that may as many are of the opinion that this report be adopted say aye. Aye. May as many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And a report by the Committee of PICPAC on examination of the Auditor General report and financial statements of Ahero County Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2022 has been adopted today, Wednesday, 15th May 2024 at 10:43 hours. And honorable members, I want to direct that the report, together with the answer, be prepared and forwarded to the relevant departments for action. Next order.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
Honorable members, before we adjourn, I just want to remind us that we lost a colleague, a former colleague, a member of the First Assembly. The body leaves the Star Hospital mortuary today at 1. The burial will take place tomorrow in North Seme Ward. So we urge the members who can be available for the send-off to avail themselves. Otherwise, make sure that we maintain a number so that we don't lack quorum for transactions of the assembly business. Thank you. The House stands adjourned until today, 15th May 2024 at 2:30 p.m.